Good morning, a walk through our veg garden. Try and explain what we're doing here. The grapevine's all in flower. I'll prune that when it's finished flowering. The peach tree, hand pollinated, they're about 1.5 inches big at the moment. We have new potatoes here in buckets. These are lotus vine tomatoes. These are chopped cherry tomatoes. The lotus vine tomatoes are Ukrainian. We thought we'd give those a go and see if they're hardy. We have dwarf French beans, spring onions. We have here the cucumbers. These are Siberian Podarok cucumbers. Hoping that they'll give us a longer crop. These are Alicante tomatoes, some squash, acorn squash and a courgette. Not doing wonderfully well, but they're okay. They were a bit late in. The broad beans, well, they're in flower. We've been picking them. We've had our first meal off of those. Bits and bobs in the hanging basket when I can get round to doing them. Garlic. More squash, acorn squash, which is hand-saved seed, courgettes, and some there's a couple of butternut as well. Last year's leeks, last year's spring cabbage. 2 cucumbers that aren't doing very well. These are middies this time, so giving us a longer season and a bit of variety. Carrots, moving through. Kohlrabi. This is a different. This is another Eastern European kohlrabi. It's supposed to be a large one, and climbing French beans. Over the other side of the polytunnel, more field beans or broad beans, and another squash. Cherry tomatoes. This time Gardener's Delight. Then on the bench we have the chilies, peppers and aubergines. The aubergines are check early, hoping that they'll be early. They're a bit prickly and they've just started to flower even though they are quite small. The peppers are a Bulgarian variety and they're KB. So again, we're trying different things to see if we can, because we have such a short season here. Leeks to be planted out. Basil, different varieties. The rest have been dotted in and around the polytunnel. More cherry tomatoes. These ones are Gardener's Delight. The ones at the other end were chopped cherry. Outside we have 3 raised beds. The runner beans I put in yesterday, and they're doing okay. The sweet corn, it's a bit yellow and a bit slow, but maybe it'll catch up. More field beans. A couple of squash that aren't doing very well, and last year's leeks. This bed's the brassicas and spring greens, chard, beetroot, spinach and kohlrabi to follow on from the polytunnel kohlrabi. The last bed is artichokes and squash. The squash this time we tried for outside is Hungarian blue squash. We'll see what happens, and the rest is sort of like dotted in bits and pieces, like the rest of the dwarf French beans and the raspberry cones. They're just all coming into flower. Well, I hope you like it. I hope you like it. Let us know what you think anyway. Alright, thank you.